Welcome back to Whitt Acres. In this video, we're going to be fixing the mess in the duck pen. Alright, so we are getting into fall here in western Pennsylvania, and that means we are coming into the mud season. So anywhere that has some water in it just turns to all mud, and it stays that way for the next about 9 months. So I gave my ducks this nice big area, got a hill on it, drains really nicely so the top area can stay real beautiful. Got the house on a hill so it doesn't fill up with water. We got a cover there for the shade and to cover their food so it doesn't get wet in the rain, and it's pretty nice for them here. But in the bottom corner where I have all their water, it is a mess, and it just never seems to go away. It doesn't ever dry up enough before they splash all the water there and make it all muddy again. So I have my hose running from the rainwater harvest tank up behind the barn. That's an extra one there, so I can fill up the water nice and easy here. So it works out to have the water here, but I need to do something about all this mud. I just can't go through the winter having that freeze and thaw and just make a huge mess all winter long. I'd like to get it all cleaned up before we actually get into the cold. We have the turkey outside ripping some grass in their grazing bubble. Echo Pup's gonna be out here helping too. I got my bag of tools and one small stake of wood because I already have an idea of how I want to fix this muddy mess around the duck poles. Hey ducks. Hey Mumbles. So my plan to get the ducks up out of the mud, or get the duck poles up out of the mud, what I'm going to do is frame out this area and fill it in with gravel. I'll bring the framing boards down. I need to cut these ones to fit, but I'll bring them down that side and out to this first post. And then what I'm going to do is cut that spindle right there into a stake so I can frame it out here and hold the next board in place, so I can bring a nice square point out to this post here. So it'll frame out just like that and make a nice gravel area, and I'll fill the boards up to the top with 2B gravel, and then maybe top it off with 1B gravel to make it a nice tighter finish. And I'll frame that straight over there, but then I'll fill in this area here with a little bit of gravel so they'll have a nice gentle ramp going up to that area, and then maybe make a little step up or another ramp on this side so they have easy access all around. But it'll bring them up out of the mud, and then when they're tracking up to the poles, it might get some of the mud off their feet before they get in the water and dirty it up real quick. I think this is going to help a lot keeping the water clean and maybe making the water last a little bit longer throughout the day, because they dirty it up really fast, and the rainwater harvest tank only holds so much. So whenever we go a week or two without water right now, having all the animals, the 16 turkey, 15 chickens, 13 ducks, goose, and 4 pigs inside, the water really goes quick, and the ducks probably use the majority of it. So to get them up out of the water and maybe even make their water last a little bit longer will be really nice going into the winter, because then I won't have to be out here filling up their water as much. So I brought up a circular saw, a drill, impact drill, a box of screws, tape measure, a 3-pound sledge, and a spindle for my stakes. This is what I'm going to be using, and I think it'll do. Puppy, you be good. Puppy, you be nice to my ducks. Hey, they're resting right now, bud. I don't want you I don't want you bothering them. They're resting. Come on. Come on. So what I'm going to need here is an 8-foot board. I already have the 10-foot right there that's going to work, and that'll work for the other 10-foot. I'll cut that. Whoa, my finger. So I need 2 8-foot boards and another 10-foot board. 8, 10, 8. Frame this area off. Puppy. I love how the birds just follow us around. Hey pigs, how you guys doing? You getting big, pigs. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so this is some fence wood that was on the property when my parents bought it. My dad took down some fences and saved it. I've taken down some fences and saved the wood, and now I have them all organized up here in the barn. So I just need to measure off 2 8s and a 10, and we'll have what we need to do the duck stone area, pool, water, spot, splash zone. What? What? I don't see anything. Alright, so it's actually starting to rain a little bit, which was not called for. Alright, so this is what I am thinking. I have it all framed out here. I just have to cut this one off here, line those ones up to the post and cut them. Screw everything in, make my little stake so this one holds nice and steady. I'm going to put 2 stake here and a stake here, or probably a stake on the corner and maybe a stake in the center, because that's going to be screwed in over there. So that'll hold in the weight of the stone and keep that board from moving. This one will be held in by the stake and the post, so it should be good. I might be able to make 3 stakes out of that and get another one on that board, but it'll be held by gravel on both sides, so I'm not too worried about that. The ducks will be able to come down the hill or from the flat and go up the ramp of gravel over that board. It'll be level with that board, so you won't really see that board. And then mumbles. We're gonna get an upgrade, buddy, and we're gonna be able to have the ducks walk all the way around the poles. I can dump the poles and get them all cleaned out through the gravel and try and keep the grassy area a lot healthier and growing instead of such a mess. It is raining a little bit right now, which was not called for, but I don't think it's gonna last or pick up any, so it's just gonna be a little bit of wet work here with the ducks, but they don't mind. They don't mind a little bit of rain. What are you chewing that? Don't chew that. My camera's been cutting in and out, so I'm not sure if I got every piece of segment here. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and get it done, then I'll explain what's going on at the end. Alright, my phone is getting wet and the ducks are getting thirsty. They're staying away because I'm making noise over here by their water, but I think we're making real progress here, and I think I'm actually done. We got the baseboard going along the back side all screwed in. We got it screwed into here. I'm using old lumber, so this one has a bow in it, so it's not sitting real flush right there in the corner, but it's no big deal. Once it's filled up with gravel, you'll hardly notice it. Hold on, Pop. We got some gap at the bottom, which will be filled in with gravel. That whole area will be level up to the board with gravel. I got the stake put in on the corner, screwed in. Another stake in the middle for support. Over here, I got the third stake in, and I left the gap for the hose, so whenever I put the gravel in, if I ever have to pull that hose out, I'll be able to pull it out without moving the wood. It won't be underneath. And I think this will work out a lot better for the watering here. Ducks, what do y'all think? Yeah, I think they'll like it. I'm gonna leave these boards here so that the ducks can get in and out a little bit easier. Alright, maybe that'll help them because it's going to be a couple days before we get the stone in there. I could have probably left that board off until the final day. Maybe I should have. We'll see how they do with it. I'll check up here later to see if they're actually in the pools or not. But for right now, I'm going to get out of the rain.